YXBA is back, and I'm ready to mash some more buttons.
Tiger uppercut!
Shoryuken! Another day, another awesome NX rumor on Neogaf. Neogaf member 10K has leaked out a variety of details about the Nintendo NX. And one of the nice things about this leak is he actually lumps the different leaks into groups depending on how many of his sources have provided him with that information. So I think that it's safe to say that the leaks that have the most number of sources, the more likely they are to be true. However, all of them could still be not true, and all of them could be true. Things are always potentially subject to change until Nintendo announces them officially. And even in some cases, Nintendo has officially announced things that never ended up happening. So we got to take these rumors with a little bit of a grain of salt. In the grouping, which he groups as T4 rumors, which are the ones that have multiple sources and are most likely to be accurate, there's some really awesome information. Once again, his T4 rumors call for the PlayStation 4 to be beat out by the NX by a noticeable amount in terms of power. And that's from the CPU to the GPU to the RAM. And he hasn't gone into any specific details about it, but he did allude to the previous leak from LC Geek stating that the CPU would be 15 to 30% stronger on the NX than the PS4, and also that Nintendo notoriously hates bottlenecks. So if you're going to have a CPU that much stronger, you're going to also need to have a GPU that is that much stronger. He also confirmed the report that we talked about in the last video from Emily Rogers that there's going to be a series of Wii U remasters. The ones that are, according to him, 100% confirmed are Smash Brothers as well as Zelda U. And there's also a couple other games that are totally in development, but there is a chance that Nintendo may opt not to release these games. Those games are Mario Maker and Splatoon. And the reason why there's some potential for these games not to be released is that Nintendo is struggling to transfer player data and make it cross-compatible with the Wii U for Splatoon, and they may decide not to release it if they're unable to achieve that, as I think it's very important. And with the Mario Maker, they're having some technical issues with making all the stages and accounts transfer over, and they may opt not to release it if they can't get that figured out. So yeah, those are potentially 4 Wii U games. I think mentioned all of them in my latest video. Maybe I didn't mention Mario Maker, but I certainly talked about it in some of the comments, and do think that was a good idea. The fact that the reason that Splatoon and Mario Maker might not come to the NX is because of struggles on the back end of the system, not on the controller end of the system, indicates that there is a very high likelihood that there will be a touchscreen built into the NX controller. Moving on to the T2 rumors, which it has a medium number, probably 2 or 3 sources. The NDAs are tight on the NX. And from his sources, they have been very, very concerned about what he might say, what he might reveal, and wanting to know what he was going to post, because they're actually worried for their jobs. So they wanted to make sure that he wasn't going to be posting job positions, marketing budgets, things of that nature, which I think ended up getting somebody into trouble with Super Metal Dave's reveal of the NX coming out this year and Zelda U for the NX. And that's just purely speculation on my part, but it really seems, that Nintendo is cracking down on employees who are leaking things out. Also, he says that some of his sources, not very many of them, but at least one of them, is stating that the NX is going to be running on an ARM CPU, which is different than an x86, which is what you see in the PlayStation 4, but it certainly is easier to port from x86 to ARM than PowerPC, which is what Nintendo has typically used. And many of the most decent compilers for 64-bit math will work on an ARM processor despite being 32-bit. So it really sounds, again, like the NX is going to be super easy to port games to, which is huge. So to kind of wrap it up, once again, I'm very excited every time we get leaks suggesting that the NX is going to be more powerful in every way than the PlayStation 4. It's really beginning to sound more and more as these leaks come out like that is going to be the case. And I think it's very important if Nintendo wants to broaden their appeal into the same markets that PlayStation 4 and that Xbox One are a part of. And I think they have to do that because there's less and less people who are willing to buy a system just for the Nintendo games. So you gotta get that larger base of consumers, and then you're gonna actually see that Nintendo first-party games sell even better because more people have purchased the hardware. This has been Colin Unger reminding you to keep your thumbs glued to YXBA, and always remember to select Start. If you enjoyed this video, click like and subscribe.